completed passes to 9 different players, including his 35-yard gem to Alan Lazard. And after the game, former Super Bowl champ Booger McFarland said that throw is a perfect example of why Rodgers is worthy of being in the GOAT conversation. Some strong words there. So, Shannon, do you agree?
Absolutely. He's more than worthy. He's the most gifted. I think he and Dan Marino are the most gifted throwers, and I would give him a slight nod over Dan because the ball comes out of their hands so effortlessly, so easily, almost like they throw the football like a normal human breathes and walk. It's natural. You don't think about it. He can change arm platforms. There's not a throw that he can't make. Rolling left, rolling right, over the top. Skip, he has it all. He's the total package. So many things, though, Skip, in order for you to have success in a team sport, needs to go your way. He goes to another Super Bowl if the guy does his job on the hands team on the own side in Seattle. If the tight end blocks his guy, the ball hits Jordy Nelson, they go to the Super Bowl. Who knows what happens after that, but they go to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, in 19 years, has a top 10 defense 16 times. He's had a top 10 defense 13 of the last 14 years. So you need players, you need coaches, you need breaks sometimes for things to go your way. But Aaron Rodgers, the way he throws the football, the amount of games, he's won games. He's a 2-time league MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers, the last time he had a top 10 scoring defense, he won the Super Bowl. Brady has that every year. He goes to the Super Bowl just about every year, and he normally gets there and he wins. So Rodgers is more than deserving to be in that conversation.
I'm ashamed we're doing this topic.
You shouldn't be ashamed.
You know, and I love Booger McFarland, and I think he does an excellent job on Monday Night Football. But when I heard him say this last night, it was LOL for me, literal LOL. You're going to put Aaron Rodgers in the GOAT conversation with Tom Brady or even with Joe Montana? I would put John Elway. You know John Elway.
I do.
I'd put him in. I'd put Peyton Manning in before I'd put Aaron Rodgers. I'd put Roger Staubach in the GOAT conversation before I would even think about Aaron Rodgers, because he went to one Super Bowl, and give you this, he did win it, and that was following the 2010 season. The calendar's pretty soon going to turn over to 2020. Let's see, that would be like 10 years. Really, that seems like ancient history to me. And if you take away that one magic carpet ride that he had, and it was 4-0 as the road wild card team, he sort of went Eli-esque. Road wild card. Remember, at Philly, at Atlanta, remember what happened?
Yep.
And if you take those 4 away, he's 5-7 in the postseason. And his 5 wins came over Joe Webb and Kirk Cousins. And there was the Dez Catch game that he should not have won. And then there was the Odell boat trip game at Lambeau. And then there was the Mason Crossbar game at Jerry World. Okay? You barely survived that one thanks to 2 of the weirdest looking long-distance intergalactic field goals I've ever seen. Those are your 5 wins against 7 losses. Aaron Rodgers' team missed the playoffs the last 2 years, and now we're going to put him in the GOAT conversation? I mean, his numbers have fallen each of the last 4 years in QBR and completion percentage. He's now 16th in QBR out of 32 teams. And in the end, I'll give you this. He is style over substance because he's the most stylish thrower of the football I've ever seen. His footwork is often awful. Awful footwork, but he flings it sideways. He's got the Mahomes going. It's like, phew.
Yeah.
It's cool. He is the coolest thrower of the football I've ever seen. I give you all that.
So let me ask you a simple question. If Coach Belichick is his coach with the system, so Aaron Rodgers is in New England, does he have more than one Super Bowl?
There's no way Aaron Rodgers would have lasted more than 2 years with Bill Belichick. He just wouldn't have. Too big a diva. Tom Brady's the most coachable quarterback you will ever find.
I think I believe if Aaron Rodgers goes there and Skip, once you become something, it's hard to change you from that. Tom Brady had no choice. Coach Belichick had his foot on his neck from day one. That's why everybody can't play for him. It's easier if you go there.
At some point, Tom Brady, after a couple of Super Bowls, could have said, you know what? I'm better than you are. I'm more valuable than you are. Nope, not built that way.
Okay,
Tom Brady is the flip side of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a showman. He wants to put on a Monday night show. Then he wants to create the
right?
postseason, the post-game narrative about, I found this kid Lazard, and I made him my best friend, and I said, play him in the fourth quarter. And then I said, I'm going to throw it to him.
That ain't what he said.
Yes, he did.
He did say that, but not like you. So you embellish it.
Exactly.
You embellish it.
But that's what happens. Tom Brady would never do post-game narrative like
All
that.
I'm saying is, if Coach Belichick, if Aaron Rodgers was in New England and Coach Belichick and the system is in place as it is for Tom Brady, I believe Aaron Rodgers has more than one Super Bowl. You believe he has more than one
No,
Super Bowl.
I do not. And that's a complete hypothetical that it didn't happen. It's not happening. And Aaron Rodgers has coached his own football team because he wanted to. He does have a lot of Marino in him, and Marino basically coached the team. Even when Don Shula was coaching, Marino ran that football team.
And look at the defenses that he had.
Look at the running game he didn't have.
Exactly.
Because he wanted to throw it every time.
But he had no choice.
Okay.
Dan Marino had one 1,000-yard rusher.
Okay.
So what's he supposed to do with that?
Okay. So I give you Aaron Rodgers, coolest thrower of the football ever. And that got him where over time? Well, where did it get? It got you virtually nowhere. It got you one Super Bowl about 10 years ago.
So Skip, everybody's not going to be fortunate this time to have top 10 scoring defense year after year after year, to have the same coach year after year after year after year, playing the same system year after year after year after year.
Tom Brady, 6 rings with 6 fourth-quarter game-winning drives? Are you kidding me? How do we even know what Aaron would do in those circumstances?
Skip, I'm not trying to debate that. I'm not trying to take that from Tom.
Well, how do you put him in the conversation? What's he have? What are his credentials? He's the coolest thrower of the football ever, so he's the GOAT. Really?
Skip, Booger didn't say he was the GOAT.
He said he belongs in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the conversation? It's over. It just ended.
No, it didn't.
Well, seriously.
No.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is better than John Elway was?
No, I'm taking nobody. I'm not taking Brady. Brady ain't with me no rings. I get to talk about Brady. 7 got me rings.
Okay. 7 went to 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And he won a couple of them thanks to Terrell Davis.
I don't care who you think. I don't care. They can think anybody.
Okay.
He got me some rings. He got me some jewelry.
Okay. He did.
Yes.
Okay. I got that. But that's 5-1.
Yeah.
So should Elway be in the GOAT conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is like
hold on.
This is like what's happening to your Hall of Fame. Now let's just let everybody.
No. But here's the thing, though, Skip. If you look at those teams, now, the teams that John took to the Super Bowls and they lost, Brady's not getting those teams to the Super Bowl. You saw those teams that he went up against. He had to go up against the Washington team and the Giants team and the 49ers. 49ers were loaded. Washington was loaded. The Giants were loaded. And he got that team. And he went on the road and did it, the drive.
I've seen Tom Brady pull things off.
He ain't put no drive.
The Legion of Boom.
He ain't go 98 yards.
Nobody can mess with the Legion of Boom until Tom Brady threw for 124 in the fourth
That's
quarter.
a neutral site. John Elway did the drive, 98 yard, no timeouts.
Yep.
And sub-zero temperature. You know what the dog pound was like.
Yep. Okay. So put him in the GOAT conversation. I'm good with that. You know what Roger Staubach did for the Dallas Cowboys? He was sensational. He invented the Hail Mary.
I know. They coined it against Minnesota.
Okay, he did against your Vikings. That's way before your time.
But that had to be, what, 74, 75?
History.
75. Yeah. Outside.
Wasn't
It was
quite
like
around yet.
5 below 0. Yeah, Drew Pearson.
He shoved that man down.
He probably did.
Ain't no problem did, Skip. You know he shoved him.
Yeah, but it was the Hail Mary.
Oh, but why did they call pass interference?
I don't know.
You guys have
Pass
the most
them in.
incredible memories.
They didn't even have pass interference. in those.
Incredible memories. I don't even
Yes, they did.
understand. You
Yes,
guys
they
remember
did.
everything. It's
Yes,
fascinating.
they did. He shoved that man down, and you know it.
Will we?
Push.
Just a little bit. Will we have some history to be talking about next week? Jerry World. We got a big one. Eagles, Cowboys. Will Jerry World be the difference maker for that one? We'll discuss.